Hey guys, RJ here with another King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Online video, and today I wanted to kind of go into a subject that is all about like planning, saving, and when it's a good idea to spend, because this whole game's like Ultimate Match Resource Manager Online, right? And we collect all these resources and promote our guys up, and realistically, if we want to get anywhere and compete, there's a lot of talk about planning and saving, right? So I mean, I've saved a lot of old screenshots and stuff like that, and I mean, I've only ever purchased, and I know it seems like a lot, but that's all I've ever purchased in the entirety of the 630 days I've now played it, coming up on 2 years, so a lot of that's from the Supreme benefit every month, and earlier on I blew a little bit here and there, but I mean, I'm up in Canada, and the exchange rate is just horrible. I mean, if anybody's wondering, I took a snippet. That's what 4,500 diamonds in Canada is. Oh man, so there haven't been a lot of purchases at once on my end. It was really here and there earlier in the game when I realized, it's a good idea to get your VIP level up to at least 5. I started there because, hey man, those bandit rolls are huge, because that's like free money every month, you know what I mean? Not too many games offer that. And so it got me thinking, that if you had enough diamonds and there was enough time between enough bosses, because you only really need 6 guys and a few strikers, eventually you change them out, but there's a lot of time between certain bosses and their releases. So it had me thinking that you could make the game work for you just by being really picky and choosy on how you spend diamonds once you initially obtain them, and you can obtain quite a few just when you start the game playing through all the story levels and everything. I mean, there's a lot of free-to-play diamonds that come out of this game, but here and there I've made a few purchases to try to boost myself up to get the next level of bandit roll and stuff like that here and there, but I got to a point way back here where I had 152,000 diamonds, and I was riding on the coattails of Kula, who was my first boss ever. I got K through a lucky draw because I realized how good he actually was. I didn't have enough diamonds to go in on Crazy Ori, or I actually would have went 4 souls, but the random bosses at the developer there, they decided to throw out Nescayo. I'm sure we all remember that, but it made me happy because the bandit came with him, if I remember correctly, and it was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna get him because he's the counter to just the entire meta that just started. So I rode on those 3 bosses for a long time, and then Ignis came out, and I had more diamonds than this at the time because I was still saving. This was back at level 95. I was saving and saving and saving, and I kept Kyo with me there. For a long time, I S-maxed him just because you could do it pretty much for free, and he ended up on my front line forever, and Terry came out, and it was like, okay, I have to spend diamonds, but on the Terry draw, I went pretty hard on it because I realized, yeah, this is a boss I want his, the badges and tomes, and it made sense to spend, I think it was like almost 60,000 diamonds, because there was a, whatever, but it made sense for me to go in on the draw. I can't remember where I ended up. I think it was in the 4 to 6 range, but those fragments are huge because you don't want to eat through all your power fragments. I had a screenshot somewhere in here of the power fragments I was holding on to, but you know, I ended up going down to 107,000 in the draw, you know, because I needed it to, you know, and then I started saving up, you know, but Terry was immediate. I had my resources saved up, and this was, you know, kind of day one sort of stuff. But you know, because Terry was so big for my formation, it helped me hold a better arena spot. You know, I was sitting, you know, I think around 5th or 6th or something like that for quite a while, and so, you know, you can see the diamonds, they start going up all right. The only thing I kept spending on was these stupid Ultimate Historic chests, but, you know, I think they're a good investment. You know, but then Terry needed a weapon, but it wasn't a problem because I had the reserve diamonds because I had saved up so much. You know what I mean? I've only ever gotten like 40,000, you know, and so it makes it easier when you're able to get ahead and make sure that you're hitting the bandit every month. You know what I mean? This was at day 500, you know, I was back up to 120,000 there. That was with, I believe that's after a bandit pull. You know, I was up to 900 power fragments because I really didn't have to spend too many on Terry or the other bosses, you know, because I think Ignis I pulled and I power fragged him up, but Terry I went hard on the draw so that you know, I didn't have to waste all my power fragments because I knew you need these power fragments. You know, it's the same team here. I just started, you know, working certain guys up. I knew from a long time ago I was going to get Nest Kaio's S-Max. Ignis was sticking around until at least Instinct Diori, and Terry was the main feature of my team. So I just spent my time, you know, working on these guys, leveling them up, with promoting them, whatever, you know, getting them stronger, but saving diamonds. You know, Terry came out in June, and it's I think yeah, and there's the next one. I think this one's in December here. This was just before the Ash draw. So, you know, Terry came out in June, Ash came out in December. There was 6 months between it. So, you know, that's I amassed, you know, 60,000 diamonds over 6 months of saving. You know, it's only about 10,000 diamonds a month, but you got to remember I was buying Ultimate Historics every month. Those were taking up, I think, you know, 6,000 diamonds a month or something like that. And, you know, stuff here and there. I wasn't too. I was buying extra SP and stuff like that because it, you know, I didn't think I would need too many diamonds more. You know, because I had the plan here for Karate Brothers and Ash. Well, you know, that went sideways because, you know, went down to, you know, I think it was another, what, 40,000 there on Ash's draw. But even though it's just 40,000, no, that's like, if you were to go and buy that, that's like $1,000, you know what I mean? And then the next month right after, there wasn't too much recovery time, had to buy Ash's weapon. You know, boom, Karate draw down to 60,000. Oh my god, I have to buy the Karate Brothers weapons. You know, and then there was the limited, the Ultimate Historic draw. So that dropped me down even further. So I mean, you know, when you go back, you know, I had a lot of diamonds, but within 2 months, that stack of diamonds got murdered, solely because it wasn't because I wasn't prepared. I was prepared for the bosses, you know what I mean? But now I'm at this point today where it's like, am I going to get the last bandit pull? I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I haven't even jumped into this. Will I get Nameless? No, but I get an Awakening Gem. So, you know, it's a good sign. You know, this thing is just, I gotta write down what I got there. 8879. Yeah, because I like to see how much I get, or don't. But, you know, you have to really prepare and plan out your team, because otherwise this game can end up being quite expensive. But essentially, you know, if you make a plan for your team, I honestly think it's one of the... Ooh, that was a horrible one. Only 900. Oh, that was like 3,000. Oh, I think I'm definitely making this. Ooh, it was like 5,000. Here's the big one. I'm definitely making it. I've made it. Yay. But you know, you can make the game work for you just by getting the initial savings going. And I mean, if you know what type of team you want and everything, you know, you can almost, like, if you still need captains or whatever, you can almost decide which month you're going to buy them, because they're almost every month they're throwing out, you know, some type of Wheel of Fortune or lucky draw or whatever, and they're giving choices in the draws and everything now. Not like the way it was a year ago, where, you know, you get one boss at a time, you know, in the lucky draw and at the end of the month, and if you missed a boss, it might not be coming around, you know, until you get to this type of an era where you have Wheel of Fortune and like 6-7 different bosses featured, right? So you always want to keep a bare minimum amount of diamonds that you kind of never go below. Oh, it was like 6,000. You know, my honest bare minimum is like 50,000, because I know if I go below 50,000, I might not be hitting that last pull the next month that comes around, and that's going to screw me even worse than anything else, you know. So luckily I got, what was that? That's like almost 16,000. Yeah, that was 16,000 diamonds. So I mean, not bad, but I mean, I'm going to have to, you know, looking ahead, the next thing I want to do for my team is get Ash another weapon. You know, I want to S-Max Ash. And so, you know, all of those diamonds I just got aren't even going to cover Ash's weapon yet, so I got to make sure that I produce a positive daily savings so that I can counteract the extra diamonds that are going to be needed for Ash's weapon. You know, and then beyond that, it's back into save mode. I mean, I really hope Instinct Diori doesn't show up for too long, but this is specifically why I'm skipping Mukai and I'm skipping Magikai. I'm skipping everything until Instinct Diori, and I think he might be out in, like, you know, another 5 or 6 months. But that's perfect for me, because I will then be able to get probably double the amount of diamonds I have right now while I save up. And, you know, because I prepared for Neskayo's S-Max, you know, he can stick around on my team and do some work. You know, he's got to work off my investment into him at this point before he can go into retirement. You know, and then next up on deck is going to be the Karate Brothers. But, you know, I'm going to, you know, just slowly build up my power fragments and stuff like that, and grab their weapons when they come around again, and, you know, it'll work itself out, because that's not too expensive. You know, this more than covers one weapon for either one of those guys. So going forward in the future months, I'd be making a net positive. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that most months you're saving a lot more than you're spending. So, you know, it's a good idea to figure out how much, you know, you're able to pull on the Bandit, because for a lot of months I was just doing the 23,000 or whatever it is. I wasn't able to make the 55k pull, and that's okay if you can't get to that right away. Just you'll get there if you just try to keep, you know, having a more positive saving habit than, you know, trying to get everything all at once. Because when you try to get it all at once, you're gonna end up wailing, and I hope your credit card can take that, because mine sure can. You know, so I hope you guys found this interesting. It was just kind of a quick history of my saving, my planning. My Bandit worked out for me, but I'm just trying to show you guys, even though it's like, hey, that looks like it's not a lot of diamonds, because I still got to do this next month, and Ash's weapon, and it's saving, man. Sure, it's a game, but hey, man, half of that is fun to me. You know, it's fun strategizing all this crap to me. So, you know, I hope you guys found it informative, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.